My name is Carl Jamison, and I welcome you to my YouTube channel with today's latest developments from U.S. politics. Breaking news out of Delaware, where Julianne Murray, the former interim United States Attorney for the District of Delaware, has officially announced her resignation. This decision has triggered significant discussion and debate across political and legal circles in the United States. Another fake Trump interim United States Attorney quits, resigns, is forced out because they've been exposed as a fake United States attorney. We're seeing federal judges assert themselves across this country right now in various districts, saying that President keeps appointing these fake interim United States attorneys who are allowed to keep their job for a 120-day period. Their term can be either made official if they're confirmed by the Senate, or their term can be extended if the federal judges of that district extend their term.
But Trump is picking people with zero federal prosecutorial experience who are not qualified for this position, in my opinion.
And the opinion of many other legal scholars, and the opinion of the federal judges who are not extending their interim term. Donald Trump is not able to put qualified candidates for this United States attorney position before the United States Senate. Despite clear court orders saying they were not legally allowed to serve, they refused to step aside. We saw this in New Jersey with Alina Habba, where the Third Circuit Court of Appeals finally stepped in and ordered her removal immediately. Because Delaware's federal courts also fall under the Third Circuit, the message was obvious even without naming anyone else. You are unlawfully in the position, and you have to leave.
Julianne Murray, who was serving as the interim United States Attorney for the District of Delaware, has announced her resignation following recent legal developments. In a public statement, Murray said she has spent more than 15 years working as an attorney, advocating for the rights of Delaware residents, both inside and outside the courtroom. She described her appointment as interim U.S. Attorney as an opportunity to continue serving the public on a broader scale. According to Murray, she approached her role in a professional and nonpartisan manner, stating that political affiliation was never a factor in how she carried out her responsibilities. She said she believed her work would be evaluated based on performance rather than political considerations. However, Murray expressed disappointment.
Although her interim term was not extended by federal judges, her resignation statement gives the impression that she had long been serving the people of Delaware. However, when her professional background is examined more closely, a different picture emerges. Prior to this role, her primary public position was serving as the chair of the Delaware Republican Party. That role represents a political organization, not the general population of the state. She also previously ran for governor of Delaware and did not win. At another point, she sought the position of Attorney General in 2021, but was unsuccessful. In addition to her political activities, she operated a small private law firm. What stands out, based on publicly available information, is the absence of traditional federal prosecutorial experience. There is no clear indication that she worked her way through the federal justice system or served as a career federal prosecutor before being placed into this interim role. Instead, she appears to have been a political figure who also happened to be a licensed attorney. From an analytical standpoint, this situation highlights a broader pattern that just appears to have been a political figure who also happened to be a licensed attorney. From an analytical standpoint, this situation highlights a broader pattern that has raised concerns among legal experts and members of the judiciary. Several interim U.S. attorneys appointed during this period lacked leadership roles that typically require years of courtroom and federal experience. In contrast, historically, U.S. attorneys often build their careers within the federal system before being considered for such positions. For example, individuals like Harry Litman, a former U.S. attorney himself, followed a traditional path that included clerking for Supreme Court justices, attending top law schools, and spending many years inside federal prosecutors' offices. That type of experience creates institutional knowledge and credibility that is difficult to replace. In my assessment, the appointments from opposing parties happen under every administration. The central concern is qualification and experience. When individuals without federal prosecutorial backgrounds are placed into roles that demand deep institutional expertise, It naturally invites scrutiny from judges and legal professionals. This helps explain why some interim appointments were not extended and why resignation followed.
Ultimately, credibility in these positions is built on experience, not political loyalty. And without that
foundation, even temporary appointments face significant resistance within the judicial system. Now we move on to the second part of today's video, focusing on another story that has been drawing significant attention across political and social media platforms. Today, a number of claims and allegations are circulating about Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. These claims have sparked intense debate and strong reactions, with many narratives being shared online. In this segment, our goal is not to amplify unverified information, but to carefully examine what is being alleged,
what has been confirmed through credible sources, and what remains opinion or political rhetoric.
According to U.S. and international media reports, including The National and The Guardian, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's U.S.-born son was stopped and questioned by U.S. immigration authorities in the state of Minnesota. Ilhan Omar stated that her son was released after presenting his American passport. She described the incident as an example of racial profiling, which she says has become increasingly common during current federal immigration enforcement actions. Omar also expressed serious concern about the treatment of Somali American communities, saying that such incident, a disturbing pattern of discrimination targeting people from immigrant backgrounds, continues to emerge. This behavior is unacceptable and must be addressed immediately. When I look at this incident from my own personal experience and perspective, the stopping of Ilhan Omar's son by immigration authorities does not appear to be
limited to just one individual or one family. Instead, it raises a much broader and more serious question about ongoing immigration policies.
What are the true costs, both economic and social, of the ongoing changes to immigration policy here in the United States? If the U.S.-born son of an elected member of Congress can be subjected to questioning by immigration officials, it becomes difficult to ignore what everyday citizens, especially those from minority backgrounds, may be experiencing on a regular basis. This incident further reinforces concerns that, under the banner of immigration enforcement, certain communities are being disproportionately targeted based on race or religion. These concerns have existed for some time, particularly among Somali American and other Muslim communities. This case has once again brought those fears into the spotlight. At the same time, the current political climate makes this issue even more sensitive. Ilhan Omar is a controversial yet influential political figure, and criticism directed at her often goes beyond politicians' disagreements, extending into attacks on identity, background, and personal history. In such an environment, it is not enough to view incidents like this solely as routine law enforcement actions. Their broader social and political implications must also be considered. My personal assessment is that situations like this contribute to a growing trust gap between minority communities and state institutions in the United States. When the use of state authority is not perceived as transparent,
Fair and impartial, it risks undermining core democratic values. Ultimately, this case forces us to reflect on whether current immigration
policies truly strengthen national security or whether they instead deepen social divisions. The answer to this question lies not in blame or political point scoring, but in open, honest, and fact-based dialogue. This commentary is based on personal analysis and is intended to encourage a better public understanding of the issue.
He sat alone in a small room, away from camera and noise. For years, people saw him on big screen in meetings and in serious debates. But today, he was just a man thinking quietly. Age had changed many things. His walk was slower, his voice was softer, but his heart was still full of memories. He remembered his first day at work. He was young, nervous, and full of hope. He believed his goal changed the world. Not with anger, but with patience. People now talk about his age. Some say he is too old. Some say it is time to leave. He hears this word even when he stays silent. But what people do not see in this every morning, his wake up with the same purpose. To serve, to do what he believes is right. He misses his family When he's away, he misses simple dinner. He misses quiet night. Still, he chooses duty. He knows he is not perfect. He knows time is moving fast. But it's also known that experience has value. One day he will step back. He will sit at home, not his office, and history will judge his work. Until then he stands not for power, not for fame, but for the promise he made long. As the day passed, the noise outside grew louder. Questions followed him everywhere. Cameras, waitings, headlines were written before he even spoke. Some nights were harder than others. Sleep did not come easily. He started at the calling and asked himself a simple question: am I still helping? In those moments, he thought of the people, the faces he met year ago, a worker who thanks him, a mother who asks for hope, a young student who believes in change. These memories give him strength. One morning he looked in the mirror. He saw wrinkles, he saw tight eyes, but he also saw honesty. He knew I know the word had changed. First word, first anger, little patient. He chose a different parts. To listen more, to speak less, to stay calm when others shouted. Even his criticized noticed something he never answered. With hate, he never pushed anger back. At home, a little waiting for him, written by a young person. He said, you made me believe that kindness still mattered. He held the letter for a long time, and he stayed quiet moment he smiled, not because the fight was over, but because